Hey folks, it is Josh here back for another SG Weekly. It is the SG Weekly number 92. Came back on the podcast last week. Now we're back live on YouTube well. So if you're curious, definitely check out the SG podcast. If you want to tune in live on YouTube, I should say the SG YouTube channel to tune in live there as well. Let's get into the updates. So the way I've liked to break down the weekly of late is number one, I talk about kind of what I'm working on and what the focus is. Number two, key takeaway from the last week or two, like business lessons, something like that. And then number three is usually a book update. What am I reading? What am I taking away from it? Stuff like that. Of course, if you are tuning in live, feel free to say hello in the chat on YouTube or to ask away with any questions and stuff like that. I'm going to get right into it though. Last few weeks have been pretty exciting. As many of you know, the biggest focus of mine these days is my immigration tech company, Visto.ai. Check it out, Visto.ai, or I'll put a link to it in the description. But we're building immigration software to help make the process easier for those coming into Canada. Now, really interestingly, we had actually started it with the intention of helping individuals do their own applications. And as we've continued to build out more tools, more software, we've uncovered this opportunity to actually make a B2B version so that different lawyers and immigration consultants can actually use it to improve their practice as well. So in typical startup fashion, we sort of stumbled into a first few sales in that regard and realized, oh crap, we got to build this thing and we got to start selling it more, right? We got to start promoting it to more and more potential customers. So my focus has shifted in about the last week, and it will be shifted for the next few months, less so on the B2C side, now so a little bit more on the B2B side. I'm pretty excited about that because I have a little bit more experience on the B2B side. I'm pretty comfortable selling B2B, especially in Canada. So I think that'll be interesting. I'll definitely have some B2B sales thoughts and tips and hopefully takeaways for you guys in future SG weeklies as we move forward. The other thing I've been really focused on a little bit more lately is personal branding. And one reason why is, I'll talk about it a little bit at the end when I talk about the book I'm reading, but it's just become more and more obvious as you go further into entrepreneurship, especially in service businesses, how one and in line you are with your business and your reputation and the trust that you build with clients and how intertwined that is with your business. And so one way to market it well and continue to grow it is to build your personal brand, right? The more people know about you, the more people get to know and trust you, and the more likelihood that there is that they will potentially use your businesses or services, or even that you'll just grow your network, and usually good things happen from there. So trying to be a little bit more cognizant of that. I had let that drop a little bit in the last few months as I was so focused on the startup. Want to get that ramped up a little bit more as well. That'll be more on the social media side of things. Hence, the blog, the vlog coming back, the weekly emails. I've kept up my weekly emails for quite some time, but the SG Weekly kind of fall into the wayside. So now I plan on doing it every Sunday, the podcast and the YouTube vlog as well. So definitely keep an eye out for that. If you are interested in getting my Monday morning email, definitely sign up at the link in the description, solopreneurgrind.com/join, if you're interested in getting my email every Monday morning, where I'm giving similar updates, but I'm going into a little bit more detail. I'm sharing links and different events that might be coming up, networking events and stuff. I want to give Clubhouse a try, run some networking events and stuff there. So definitely join the email list so you don't miss out on that stuff. In terms of the second topic, kind of like key takeaways and lessons from the last few weeks, definitely the big focus and what's top of mind right now is efficiency in working. And I kind of talk about this in the email that I'll be sending out tomorrow. So again, make sure to join. But there's these certain principles that I've kind of seen with entrepreneurship and solopreneurship, where these certain principles every once in a while come circling back, right? Because they're always applying, staying healthy, and focusing on your niche and learning from your customers. And I think another one that keeps coming up every once in a while is work efficiently, right? We're all busy. Everybody claims, oh, I'm very busy, this, that, and the other. If you're doing any sort of meaningful work, you're obviously going to be busy. And so what's super important is working efficiently, guarding your calendar, doing an audit of your to-do list. What are you doing every day, every week? Are you getting enough done? Stuff like that, that's super important. So that's very much top of mind, keeping that in mind over the next week or two as well. The third segment, third topic that I like to talk about is what I'm reading. Last week, I gave you guys some feedback on my reading of The Richest Man in Babylon, which I thought was really interesting. Definitely check out the podcast from last week, the SG Weekly 91, or the email from last week if you're on the email list. This week, I'm doing a reread of Crushing It by Gary Vee. If you do or don't know Gary Vee, there's a lot of strong opinions in both directions for Gary Vee. I really like him. I think if you take him in the right dose, he's the perfect mix of helpful, business information as well as just motivation and that kind of stuff. The book Crushing It, really good, especially if your social media game is lacking or you're looking to improve your social media game for business or your personal brand, or you're looking for strategies on ways to use the different social media platforms. I highly recommend it. I read it a few years ago, rereading it again this week because I kind of felt like I needed the reminders. And so I really recommend it. So that's it for me for the SG Weekly number 92. Hopefully you found that stuff useful. Like I said, I want to keep doing this every likely Sunday afternoon just to keep myself kind of engaged, keep myself, on track, and hopefully to kind of help share the journey, the process, so that, we can all learn from each other and continue to grow and all that good stuff. Like I said, if you do want my email every single Monday morning, I kind of share some of these updates. I go into even more depth. And whenever I get started on things like, my own social media networking events and stuff like that, it'll be through the email list. So definitely make sure to check it out. Link will be in the description, either on YouTube or on the podcast. If you're listening to this, solopreneurgrind.com/join. Check the link in the description. Thanks again for tuning in, folks. And I will see you next week. Hopefully you have a great week on your end. I will see you next week. Take care, everybody.